Hey, what's going on, y'all? Today, I'm coming at y'all with another video here and some wonderful nature. It is truly gorgeous out. I really hope you guys are getting out here and enjoying some nature yourself because there's nothing like a clear vista. There's nothing like some sunshine in the evening. Really does something for your soul, for your mind, revitalizes your energy. If you want to look at that just straight science, get that vitamin D. Be outside for 30, 45 minutes and just really soak in those vitamins. Allow your body to produce that through those ultraviolet rays. Truly, nature is its own supplement. If you're not taking it, well, you're missing out, because this is what we were made to exist in. But that's besides the point. Now, as you read from the title, this video is about holding on and being strong, even in those difficult times, even in those hard moments where we feel like life is closing in around us, crushing us, closing off our opportunities. Hold on. Be strong. Now, to begin, I'd like to illustrate life as a game. I'd like to make the analogy of life as a game because truly, it's what it boils down to. Even if you just want to define game as just something that you play, just something that marbles, that's a game. You know what I'm saying? It's a competition. You have a goal and aim, a purpose, and you're trying to complete that. That's what life is. We're sent here with a mission, if only to live, if only to just get the human experience. That's our purpose. And so you have to play it. Life is a game you are forced to play. We are prisoners. We are slaves to this world. And even if you try to off yourself, wasn't it your fate to do so? Aren't you still a slave to fate? Aren't you still a slave to the circumstances? If you are so depressed that you decide that suicide is your only option and that that's your way of escaping the matrix, that was always going to be, you know what I mean? And so you're still a slave, you know what I mean? You can't escape being a slave. Even your actions of trying to escape and further enforce your slavery. It's sad, but it's a true state of things. We have to play this game. There is no out. There is simply winning or losing. And so just keep that in mind, that this is a game that we're forced to play. And even in those bad times, those unpleasant areas, this game of life, I like to compare it to like a Souls-like game because I feel like that's really the most realistic style games I've played. And you start to see like, there's a lot of great analogies, but life being a game, you go through a lot of sections in these Souls-like games, and some of them are beautiful, gorgeous. A lot of them are, they're tough. They're difficult sections, you know what I mean? The dungeon crawls, you're forced to just trudge through the area, you know what I mean? Get through the sludge, and it's not fun, you know what I mean? There are going to be difficult areas in this game, but if you want to get to the next stage, if you want to reach the next level, you got to go through that difficult time, through that difficult area, through that area that might be very unpleasant, but that's just part of the game, and you got to play. And if you want to get past to the boss, to the next area, to the next level, you got to go through. And you can quit, sure, you can quit. Where does that get you? Nowhere. Stagnation. And that is the source of all destruction. All things that rot, all things that have, decomposed or fall apart. Your life can do the same thing if you quit, if you enter that stage of stagnation. You have to keep pushing, keep trying. And something to think about as you go through these difficult levels is that there's always going to be a bonfire. There's always going to be a site of grace, as an Elden Ring. There's always going to be an area for you to rest, recover, and level up. Even if the whole area is horrible, it's going to be that site, that wonderful site that you finally can just sit down and rest at. Those days where you finally just have a good day out of a whole horrible week is a time to rest, recover, level up. What else can you do at a bonfire? Now, in like Dark Souls 1, you could upgrade your gear. You could level up your gear. There's something else you can do. You can work on yourself. You can alter your equipment. You know what I mean? You can change your stats. You can, mess around when you're in these sites of grace, these bonfire, these moments in time, and these difficult areas of your life, these difficult times of your life, where you have some eye of the storm, perhaps. It's where you get to just rest, recover. In these times, you can do more than just recover. You can add on to yourself. You can add some levels. You can alter what you've got going on so that you can be more efficient as you move and fight through this area and just in the world in general. So it's just something to keep in mind, that even as you go through these horrible areas, there's going to be a side of grace. There will be a place for you to rest and recover, a time. And that is just part of the balancing effect. You can't have all bad without some element of good. It's like the yin yang, you know what I mean? You have the bad, but there's a little bit of good in that bad, the yang. A little bit of yin in the yang, there's a little bit of yang in the yin. It's just how it is. It's the nature of this universe. And you see the balancing effect everywhere. You know, just the universe working and balancing itself out. But really, this just goes to show, in, highs and lows, peaks and troughs. This is something where the universe will, whatever comes up must go down. It's just, it's how it is. Whatever. And something else to keep in mind, because a lot of people, we get exalted, or we even exalt ourselves. And what does the Bible say? I mentioned this: he who exalts himself shall be debased. And if you exalt yourself, if you bring yourself up, especially if you bring yourself up on high, well, that's farther to fall. Higher the high, higher the rise, farther the fall. And that's just the name of the game. It's like, if you want to go to that height, you have to risk falling that far. And whenever you're falling, well, it's like, it's one of those bad areas. You just have to deal with the fall. It's just the name of the game. You're forced to play. You gotta go through that experience, that fall, because you went up. You know what I mean? It's one of those things you can't be. I mean, you can be mad at the game. You can be mad at the game. You can say, hey, these rules suck. But it's like, that's the rules. And you're forced to play. So either suck it up or lose. Those are your options. And sometimes, it's like, I hate to just go along with it, to disagree. And I have a very rebellious spirit myself. So I like to go against the rules, go against the status quo. And whenever I'm forced to do something, it's like, man, sometimes it's like it goes against my nature, if you will. But a lot of times the best results come whenever you're going through a difficult area. The best results come from just putting your head down and toughing it out. Going through the motherfucking sludge. Bearing it. Because if you don't learn the lesson from this difficult area, you're going to be weaker at going forward. If you don't level up, you don't get some levels off this difficult area, you're going to be weaker going forward. It's just how it is. If you don't take the lesson, like, from a difficult area, of being able to survive through that difficult area, and being able to learn how to handle that difficulty, well, then later you might face something, a test that washes you over completely. That completely takes over your mind and your abilities, because you didn't have the prep, because you didn't have the prerequisite to even be there. There are certain skills in life where there are certain levels in life where if you don't have the skills to be there, you're gonna get washed out, rejected. And that's the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling. So maybe the universe is trying to prepare you for something. And those hard times you're going through now are just an ounce of the hard times you may be going through in the future. And so going through these hard times will give you the grit, the toughness. There's a quote, skipping on rocks, I swear, used to be my stepping stones. It's like, at some point in your future, you want to be, so used to those rocks that you're skipping on them. Versus just stepping carefully, tiptoeing on those rocks. You want to be skipping, you're flowing over those rocks because you're so used to it. And that's something that you can learn from these hard experiences. So it's just, again, something to keep in mind. Use, and something else on this. Use what you learn from those difficult times to springshot you back up. Again, these lessons can be useful in the future, but the lessons you learn can be useful now. A lot of times there's an opportunity, again, because once you go up, you have to come down. But if you come down, now you have all this potential energy to swing right back up. And if you don't take advantage of that, kaput, you lose it. You gain stagnation and you just flatline. But you could utilize all that energy to swing back up and hit that peak again. And maybe even a higher peak. It's like a trampoline. You go down, you go up, and then you go back down. But if you go down and you hit that spot right, you can bounce even higher. So how do you bounce higher? How do you hit that spot right? Well, that involves learning the lesson. It means taking heed of everything that's happening to you. And it also means taking that shit on the chin. Listen, there are going to be moments where it's fucking sucks so much you are not going to take it on the chin. You're not going to be able to accept the moment of just utter bullshit you're going through. And you have a moment of just expressing that anger, that unrest, But if you can't suck it up, get back into it, and again, just take it. Take the bullshit you're going through and learn how to learn. Pause a lot. But learn how to manage going through these difficult times, and that's how you can spring shot yourself back up and gain a new height. You know what I mean? You can even gain more resources from these times. And if you really learn your lesson, a lot of times the universe will reward you with some kind of blessing at the very end of this. And I say this a lot. Sometimes the work itself is a blessing. So it could be the experience that gives you just the reward in and of itself, being that the toughness and the experience of going through it. Again, experience is power in a lot of ways. Experience gives you knowledge. This is why I say you really got to be aware of what's going on to you in these times. Just watch what's happening to you and learn how to endure and withstand it. And that's how you can grow from it and be stronger. It's like there are certain plants that adapt to survive in the winter, that have adapted to survive in the winter, those hard times. And so that when the spring comes around, they can flourish even stronger, even faster than all the other plants. They have to start up. They have to, start up after the hard time because they were decimated. Now they have to restart. This plant survived, weathered the winter, and now at the very beginning of spring, it opens up right on time. It doesn't have to plant roots, it doesn't do any of that. It just opens up, be like a tree. Weather the winter. And then when the spring comes, when the season of opportunity comes, you will be ready to seize. You'll be ready to grab that by the horns and really own whatever blessing and whatever gift, whatever chance the universe presents you. All right, y'all. I hope that you got something from this message. Because I've been going through some difficult times myself, and it's no easy thing. It's no easy thing, but having trust and faith in something beyond yourself, and knowing that there is a reason, a purpose behind what you're going through, even if you can't see it in the moment, that helps you hold on and be strong. All right. Take care, y'all. Peace.